Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Up Your Game, hiring advice for marketers by marketers. And I'm super excited today to have Kristin Harper here. She's CEO of Driven to Succeed. And Kristin has many decades of experience in corporate America, leading some of the most famous brands such as Crest, Oral-B, and absolutely my favorite, Hershey's Kisses. Kristin, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Abdul. Such a pleasure.
Yeah, so I wanted to really speak with you because as we're going through a bit of an economic crisis right now, and a lot of people find themselves out of a job right now, there's an opportunity for us to help people improve their interviewing skills, right? And through your years of experience, what is some advice you can give for candidates to distinguish themselves from other marketing candidates in an interview?
Yeah, that's really a great question and so timely, especially in the season that we're in right now. The biggest mistake I would say that I see with candidates is focusing on activities instead of results. And this is both in the resume as well as in the interview. Uh, I've talked to some friends, and just based on my years of experience in interviewing and recruiting candidates, on average, a hiring manager or talent acquisition manager spends maybe 10 to 15 seconds on a resume before they decide yes or no.
Right.
So the resume is the first impression. And certainly if you get past the resume into that screening and then ultimately to the interview, that's where the rubber really meets the road. And I would say that this aspect around focusing on activities instead of results is consistent across both the resume and the interview. So activities are things like responsible for, this is how many people I led, etc. Those are all job responsibilities or accountabilities. At the end of the day, companies are hiring you. You will be able to progress in your career and get great performance reviews if you focus on the results. And the great thing about marketers is there are so many things that we measure. Ultimately, marketing is about driving awareness, driving regard, driving loyalty, engaging with consumers and customers and staying top of mind. And there are so many things that we can measure. We can measure sales, we can measure profit, we can measure throughput, we can measure awareness, we can measure loyalty. So there are so many things that we can measure. And I think that's truly, truly important to focus on results. I have a formula that I teach some of my clients called VCM. And that stands for verb, context, and measure. So especially in an interview and in your resume, you want to start with the power verb. So what did you do? Okay, so not just responsible for, but for example, led, analyzed, use some of those power verbs. Secondly, especially in the context of an interview, I like including some context. So you may know about the STAR formula: situation, task, action, and result. That situation, that really is the context. And that context is really important. So if you grew your business 1%, that may not sound impressive, but if you grew the business 1% after declining for the past 3 years,
Right.
that is super impressive. That's a turnaround story. So that's an example of the context. And then measurement is that quantitative, measurable result. So the biggest mistake I see is focusing on activities instead of results in both the resume and in the interview. And the great thing about being a marketer is there are so many things that we can measure.
Absolutely, right. What a fantastic piece of advice. I love that. Great.
Thank
Thank you, Kristen. Now, I understand you're also writing a book or about to publish a book on leadership.
Yes,
Is that correct?
I've been working on it for 2 years. The Heart of a Leader, 52 Emotional Intelligence Insights to Advance Your Career. And what I've learned is that when it comes to career progression, certainly the technical skills make a huge difference. Certainly it is about becoming really good at what you do and driving those performance results. But once you have kind of proven your performance, it really becomes about how you engage others, how you lead others, how you influence others. And the key that I found that is the difference maker is emotional intelligence. So I've spent the past 2 years writing about this book. It is on sale now. On pre-sale will release on July 8th, and it's on Amazon and all types of other booksellers. So I'm really excited to be able to share from my body of experience, not just from an academic perspective, but also from an experiential perspective of what I've seen work and not work, especially in corporate America.
Wonderful. Fantastic. After we're done here, I'm going to go to Amazon and grab that. So
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thank you again for being here. And
It's
thank
been
you
my
all the
pleasure.
audience for being here today. I'm sure you learned something new. I always learn something. I say this every time, but I always do learn something new. So thanks again.
Awesome. Thanks.